to my channel, IGTV. Either one of the two you watching this, hit the follow button. I'm sitting here drinking this. Too much ginger in here, but other than that, it tastes good. So I'm going to be reacting to some things I said in this book. So get your coffee, get your wine, get your chips or whatever you want to get and join me reacting. So, let's see where I want to start. Might as well start from the beginning. Okay, so this entry was from August 19th, 2008, and this was my experience on writing a children's book. My experience on writing a children's book is that it was good and bad at the same time. It was good because this was actually my first time thinking about writing a children's book, and it was sort of fun. It was bad because people always think a book is about only one thing. Well, I have got to tell you something. It could be about more than one thing. I might write another book, but this time I will choose something else besides people. Honestly, I don't like people that change a sentence that was already good enough to start with. It was a very bittersweet experience. I'm okay with that. Even though mine sounds a little strange, it wasn't that bad. But I would think about writing a book for like teenagers and up, or books. Have you ever wondered what someone else's life was like and began to realize that it was way different than you thought it was? You start to feel bad that you always thought. And then this one right here, this one's kind of going to be a story time for IGTV. Like, I've been wanting to tell the story. Now maybe next week, this will be next week's story. So unfortunately I cannot read this one. So dang, Starbucks, y'all put too much ginger in here. I knew I was in trouble. This was entries from September 2nd, 2008. When I knew I was in trouble was a year ago, back in April. It was actually here at this school early in the morning during homeroom. You know now people say if you don't have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. Well, maybe I should have done that instead, but unfortunately I wasn't thinking that at all at the time. There was a girl I knew. We used to be friends, but now we're not, and I'm glad because I didn't want her in my life anymore. I was mean. I can't wait till my other drink gets here. That is not it. The reason I knew that I was in trouble because that friend I once had snitched on me and my friends. I had to go to the vice principal's office. Now you can't get called into the vice principal's office. It is always something bad. I didn't know what was going to happen, but once, was this a real name or made it up? Well, we're going to make up a name. Mr. Jackson said to me and the rest of us, if we didn't tell the true story, we knew, and I did too, knew that I would get suspended. I almost cried because I knew that my family would be really disappointed in me, but I got out of that trouble and I ended up getting suspended. A lot of people don't know that story. Like, I'm not I'm not really a fighter. So, experience. I think I could have a lot of humiliating moments that I have had, but I think that I will tell you one instead. Back when I was in the 8th grade, I didn't know this at the time, but 2 of my friends didn't even want to be my friends, and that sort of hurt me a lot. I didn't know what to do. I was either 12 or 13 at the time, and I didn't find that out until 9th grade. And I was so mad and embarrassed. I have hated people who be fake and two-faced since that very day. So that's why you might see me stand up for someone that is younger than me, because sometimes people think that the world revolves only around them, but the person forgot everyone else who lives on earth. This one, something you had to have. Well, this was also in September 2008. Well, of course, there's a lot of things that everyone needs, but I think the thing that I would have to have, even though it's embarrassing for me to say, is true. The reason I say that is because what if there was a school dance that you had to go to and it was on Valentine's Day and you showed up alone? Wouldn't that be embarrassing? Or so you won't feel like the third wheel? Because I hate to feel like that, because it is the worst thing in the world. Another thing I could think about is a cell phone. Even though everyone might like the look of one, let's just face the facts that all of us need one, and not just for emergencies. 7 years ago, September 11th, 2008. 7 years ago, I was in elementary school on this very day. I think that I was in the 3rd grade when I got home. I thought that nothing bad would happen that day. I mean, what do I know? I was just 8 years old. When I heard the Twin Towers had fallen, I was really shocked, and to hear that all of those people died was even more shocking to hear. It was a really, really sad moment, and that was one of the saddest moments I'll never ever forget for the rest of my life. You know what other event I won't forget? The coronavirus. Like, can't ever forget that now. Something you have too much of. I could think of numerous things that I have too much of. But one thing I could think of is books. I have a lot of books. Some of the books I've had were only for a year, but other books I have, well, that I have been with me for 8 years, or since I was 8 years old. In my room, it's like I have a bookshelf of books, and then I have books on the bookshelf of my bed. I also have too many clothes. Some of them fit, and suppose they don't, or they never did. But sometimes I could think of myself as a pack rat. Oh my gosh, how embarrassing. Something you can't deny. There are a lot of things that I can't deny. Is that sometimes I'm a klutz. I still am a klutz. No matter where I am, at school, at home, and everywhere else I go. Whenever I'm talking to someone or flirting with a guy, while I'm walking, I end up almost tripping all over my shoes or someone else's. I can't help it. It makes me the person I am to this day. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but even though I'm a klutz, I don't really believe that I'm a freak or a weird person. I would to say to a person who didn't like me, don't talk me. Wow, don't talk to me, or I will beat you up if you treat me rudely or disrespectfully. This is the one that inspired the video, so let's get into this one. I'm gonna react to some of these things I said and whether did they come true to this day. In 5 years, I think that I will be 20 or 21 years old. I see myself still in college, and I think that I will still have my high school boyfriend, but it'll be a long distance relationship. I also think I will have an internship at Teen Vogue or another magazine. Okay, so here is what came true. I did go to college, so I graduated. My high school boyfriend, we was off and on. We finally broke up like 3 years ago. That internship at Teen Vogue never happened. Like, I didn't have no internship anywhere. I also see that maybe me and some friends will drift apart since we would be in different cities, different states and cities. One thing I hope not to be in 5 years is pregnant or married. Yes, a lot of my friends didn't move to different cities, not states, but cities, and I never did end up getting pregnant or married. I would still want to live the nightlife, but wouldn't want to have to be a mother when I barely even got a chance to explore life. I think that I would be happy with life. I know one thing that will change. Being tricked by people. People think they could use me, but that will all change. I'll save this one for a story time. Yourself in 10 years. Okay, so this was in October 2008. In 10 years, I think that I will be 25 years old. This was back when I was 15, so mind you, I was about to be 16. I believe that I will be in my senior year of college, or I will have already graduated. I had graduated college when I was 21, and I wasn't in college then. I was working, so that was only like, what, almost 3 years ago? No, I don't believe that I would be married by then, but I do believe that there still will be a boyfriend in my life. Okay. No, still not married, because that was only 2 years ago, but I do have a boyfriend. I've been with the same boyfriend since I was 24, and now I'm 27. Like, what? Your girl did that. Yes, for long relationships, yes. I also think that I'll already have a book out, and I would also get a Nobel Prize. Okay, so I do have a book out. It's called Virtual Boyfriend, so that was right, but no Nobel Prize ever happened. I also would have changed a lot. I also bet the friends that I had will probably have changed. I probably would live in California for the first 5 years, and then for the next year, I would move to another state with the boyfriend I still have, or won't. I also think that I'll be happy, but I'll regret some of the decisions I made in the past. I never moved out of state. I still live in Cali. So, yeah. Let me see if there's anything else. Now, I know I wrote some poems in here. Stuff. My best friend. I have a lot of friends and best friends, but there is no particular friend that I would have to choose. She is loyal, trustworthy, honest, and always there for me. We have been best friends for 3 years. 3 years. She is my best friend because we have a lot in common, but at the same time, we don't. Her name is, her real name's right here, so, we're going to choose Summer. Let me see if there's anything else. Now, I know I wrote some poems in here. Stuff. My best friend. I have a lot of friends and best friends, but there is no particular friend that I would have to choose. She is loyal, trustworthy, honest, and always there for me. We have been best friends for 3 years. 3 years. She is my best friend because we have a lot in common, but at the same time, we don't. Her name is Summer. We met on my first day here when I was a late freshman transfer. We met at PE, and I ended up having her for the next period in lunch. Our friendship has had its ups and downs, but we were already over it, and now our friendship is flourishing, is floating dearly, and the ship isn't sinking. It feels really good to have a best friend like that. Now, I'm not really best friends with Summer anymore. Like, I still follow her on Instagram. She still follows me, but we don't really speak. And I have another friend. We're going to call her Lizzie. I'm still friends with Lizzie. We've been friends for like 13 years. So, yeah. Y'all probably thought I just got my love of roses from nowhere, but I've been loving roses for a long time. Like, I love those flowers. So this was like a poem about touch. So I love roses, but I hate how they have their thorns on them. They feel prickly like a cactus. If you don't be careful, your finger will bleed just like a paper cut. Just like that paper cut, that is how your heart feels. Just 10 times as worse. Roses are my favorite flowers. Once the thorns are cut off, they no longer feel prickly on the stem. Also, roses make great presents, especially on Valentine's Day. The sound. The yelling going around the little girl's house. She could hear it. They're arguing of the mailman in the door. Something. She could hear it. Her parents arguing and yelling downstairs about something. She could hear it. She wished that she had a clone so she wouldn't have to hear it. She heard a couple arguing. She didn't want to hear it. Everything she didn't want to hear, she had to, because there was no way out of not having to hear it. Smell. A guy walking home from school passed by something that made him stop. It smelled like a dirty pool. He wanted to run away from the smell, but he didn't want to run away. Not quite yet. He wanted to see what the smell was. Some could stop thinking about it. He walked by a trash can. He smelled a 5-day-old pizza that should have been at the dump a long time ago. He couldn't take it any longer. He ran. All the way home, he never took that way home ever again. His curiosity of that smell went away. Taste. Everyone loves ice cream. It tastes good. It's like being in a cold dream where you're in a good mood. You can also eat it when you're in a mood. Sometimes it helps. Sometimes it don't. Chocolate ice cream is my favorite. Personification. Coffee comes and goes. Coffee comes and goes out of my life. How am I supposed to survive in school without it? Have trouble thinking, not being able to be happy, being angry in the morning just because coffee has gone away. He has told his other energy friends to stay away. That hurts. I need coffee back in my life. Otherwise, I'm going to want more sleep. Stop hiding the truth from me. When you feel like you are backstabbed, it hurts. When it happened to me, I didn't know it back in private middle school in LA. Thinking that people like you, but they use you instead. That's not right, pretending to listen to what you are saying, but they're ignoring you. I hate that. If you don't like it, tell me. Don't hide it behind your fake persona, because I see when someone's being full of it, being lied to. knowing that you were never liked in the first place, knowing the truth. It hurts to know that you got stabbed in the back by your own friends, and they laugh behind your back and you wish that they could get smacked. Ooh. A poem about my iPod, that's funny. I'm just me. It's too late. And this was written so pretty. Y'all want to see? Y'all can see that. So pretty. Love is weird for me. I get it. But at the same time, I don't. I get that it is not like a fairy tale. Or you don't get your happily ever after. But sometimes you do. And you don't even realize it until it's too late. And your love has faded away. You go your separate ways. You realize that you made a mistake. You wish you can take it back. You wish that you can go back through time and take back what you did or said. But you will have moved on and forgotten about your Prince Charming, your knight in shining armor. Complicated. Love is complicated for me. I fall in and out again. I change. Love changes me for the better and the worse. But I know that someone will be by my side. I'm only 16 and I'm still in high school, and I've learned a lot about me. And everyone I know now that love takes a lot of work. Honesty. You will get angry. Trust me, I know. You'll want to give up, break up, instead of sticking it out. Love is complicated for me, but it's also complicated for you. Now, this is after high school. It was just a poem I had wrote in here, so. Done with your games. Roses are red, violets are blue. Forget you and the next bitch too. You playing the same game with the same old moves. With your newfound fame, there's no room for me. You think that you are the man that every woman should be with, but you ain't shit. You treat the woman you love like crap. Your bullshit is irrelevant. This one's kind of short. It says, move on. Stay in your lane. I'm tired of this game. Move on. It's time. It's not a crime. To want better instead of settling for less. Don't settle for anything. And I think that is about it. Yeah, there's no more poems in here, but I hope you all enjoyed this. Oh, driving test stuff, funny. Enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I'll be doing some story times on Instagram, and if they're juicy enough